reports coming out of Albert Breer for the Monday Morning Quarterback, basically saying Drake Maye will start this year. Quote from his article saying, "This won't be a full-on redshirt year. They'll be patient." But Maye's progress has gotten to the point where the expectation is he'll earn his way onto the field relatively soon, with the one caveat being that the Patriots offense will have to show that they can play in a way that it needs in order to support a rookie quarterback. So we need to see a Patriots offense from week 1, not week 3. You can even say week 2, where they weren't getting separation. In order to support Drake Maye, it's intertwined with the offensive line. That's the way I look at this. I have been, and people have given me crap all year because I say sit him, but they take that as me saying you don't play him at all over the course of these 17 games. I land on week 13 at home against Indy right before the bye. That'll give him a 5-game sample size, and it gives him an extra week to prepare out of that. But I said if this offensive line looks good before then you go ahead and do it. But Jacoby Brissett was under pressure 52% of his dropbacks Thursday night. And as the offensive line stands right now, it is a third-string left tackle, a third-string left guard, a center in David Andrews that's good, but can only do so much with so much going awry to his left and right.
Yeah.
A right guard that should be a backup. Your right tackle should be your starting right guard, so your right tackle is your backup right tackle. This offensive line looked terrible. They've allowed 11 sacks and 30 hits and 96 dropbacks this season. Like, I'm throwing the numbers, and I don't want to snooze people with it, but it's a mix of the numbers, what we all saw Thursday night, and then the personnel up front. I understand he'll be onto the field fairly soon, but this offensive line doesn't look like it's going to get good fairly soon. So I need to see the chicken before we get the egg. I need to see the offensive line before I see Drake Maye behind him.
Interesting. Chicken before the egg.
I don't know if that works that way.
Yeah.
I guess you get egg before the chicken. We don't know what came first, but you know what
exactly. I know exactly what you mean. And I think I'm going to agree with you that, like, offensive line, that's the main issue here. You look at what happened on Thursday. Maye was hit 5 times, sacked twice. He had 1 drive. Brissett was sacked 5 times, hit 10 times. It's football. That's what happens. They wear pads just like everybody else. We've established this before, but it was messy. And
ugly.
Jerod Mayo said, I think on WEEI, he said I was impressed with Drake Maye's toughness. He took hits, a football player does, but it's going to take him some more reps, some more like playing time to get to this, the confidence level that he needs to be at before he starts. You say week 13, you'd like to see him around week 13?
That's so far down.
Yeah. I was thinking like 7, week 7.
I wouldn't. Week 7's Jacksonville in London. And I'm not going to give a rookie QB his first career start with so much difference. Like you do want to make it simple. I do like getting the start on the road though. Like technically it's a home game for the Pats. I like the start coming on the road because there is less pressure. Like a lot of front office executives, a lot of coaches would say you're best giving your rookie the first start on the road because there's less pressure in the building.
Yeah,
where if stuff does start going sideways, the boos will come from your home crowd, especially in Boston. If you're in Philly, New York, that's how it can be. That week 7, even though alone, say if it was on the road, that's a good defensive line from the Jaguars. I can't give a date until I see this offensive line. You have to be smart with protecting him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You need to clean it up before you can even think about moving forward. And that's why Jerod Mayo is like, nope, we're sticking with Brissett. Like, we knew coming in that he was going to be the starter. He's QB1. He's been around the game. He's taken hits. He knows how to play the game. Drake Maye needs more reps, obviously, to build confidence to get to the point that he's at. So I kind of felt this was a good time for him to come into the game. In a way, it was a low-pressure situation because the game was already determined. So he was going in. I'm pretty sure Mayo just kind of told him, like, hey, have fun out there. Make sure you play the game, but have fun at the same time.
Be smart.
Yeah, be smart, obviously. Handle the ball well. But I think this was a low-pressure situation for Drake Maye to be introduced to NFL play. And I think that was good, at least steps in the right direction to build his confidence. So I thought that was kind of a win for him personally, but to stick with Brissett for the next few weeks is a no-brainer in my head.
For him, and you point out, you said he had 12 dropbacks. He was sacked twice. And then 2 of those, again, he also scrambled. To drop back 12 times, get hit twice, or get sacked twice, get hit another 4. Yeah. You go 4 for 8, where the accuracy is kind of all over the place. That last incompletion of Pop Douglas, he made a business decision and pulled up on that route. He didn't want to get a hospital ball. Point 2 is looking good. There's still that long release. It's too small of a sample size for me to say sit him longer because also there's jitters, there's nerves. First time out there on the field, a defensive line that didn't care a rookie was back there, kept teeing off on him.
Yep.
I'm fine with him playing, but there needs to be more. And Jerod Mayo said that too, getting into one of his quotes from his presser. He said, Jacoby is still our starting quarterback, even after the game. I watched that film the whole way home, still felt the same way. We have to support him as a staff and players and keep him clean to find the open receiver.
Yeah.
Week 1 and 2, there were points where Jacoby Brissett was holding onto the ball too long, as in he had 4 to 5 seconds in the pocket, but no one was getting open deep downfield. We need shorter routes from the receivers. You need Alex Van Pelt to step up and scheme them open. And you have to help. Whenever he plays, you have to help a rookie quarterback. Same thing. First play he comes in, drop back pass, almost picked off. I was just more worried. He was throwing right away. Hand it off, hand it off.
Yeah.
And I don't care. The game's a blowout at that point. Just run the ball and let him get settled in. What makes, and we saw it on Sunday, Natalie, Sam Darnold, what he's doing because of Kevin O'Connell. What Baker Mayfield has done. Better example, what Andy Dalton did stepping in for Bryce Young and waking up that whole offense. Dave Canales, Kevin O'Connell. It's a tight, operation they have. You see how well coached the blockers are. You see how well coached the receivers are. The timing it is about. And setting up the players for success. Alex Van Pelt has to do that with this offense. So it's, again, I go on the offensive line. I think that's the biggest deciding factor.
Yep.
I need more from AVP and his play calling and his scheming, everything, to trust that you can have a rookie quarterback out there and he'll continue to develop and get better.
And at the same time, Drake Maye, what did he got out of the pocket one time and 12 rush yards for him?
Yeah, he scrambled twice and one of them was on a 3rd and 8. And we were watching it and I said too, I'm like, that's a big conversion. Jacoby can't do that. Like Drake Maye, he's more athletic than Joe Millen. He's very athletic, but he's a good passer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, obviously they want to see him pass the ball more, develop that chemistry with the receivers. But I think the fact that he has that athleticism to get out of the pocket and make something happen. Obviously, you don't want him to get in those situations too often, but the fact he can do it, maybe that kind of translates from his days in college, what he kind of had to deal with there. But I thought...
And it was a bad offensive line at UNC, too.
Yeah, so I think in a way he's kind of used to it, but it's a whole new playing level. I mean, you can't even compare the NFL with college. But at the same time, he was able to kind of do what he's good at.
Yeah.
And I thought small sample size, like you mentioned, but I thought it was a good taste for him to kind of get in there and see what it's like and kind of get a feel for it. But then you look at the next game against the 49ers, you can't have him start that game. No way. I mean, Brissett even is probably going to have trouble with that offensive line and the 49ers defense.
And that's the way I look at it. You're going to have Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Malik Collins, a really good defensive line. The week after that, you're at home. It's against the Dolphins with Jalen Phillips, who's a really good edge rusher, and a defense that's still aggressive. And a winnable game because I don't know who they'll have at quarterback. The week after that, I don't care the Texans got upset and their defense couldn't stop the Vikings. Danielle Hunter, along with Will Anderson Jr., and again, an aggressive defense led by D'Amico Ryans. And then you said week 7 after that, Arik Armstead, Trayvon Walker, Joshua Hines-Allen. It's not getting any easier now. And that's the tough part on it all. And then if you even go back week 7, then, okay, you're back at home against the Jets, who just pushed around your defensive line.
Right. Well, that was actually kind of the game. Sorry to interrupt, but that's kind of the game that I was like, I'd love to see Drake Maye in a little bit more because
home
now
against the Jets?
Yeah, because now he's had a taste of it.
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, I mean, to see him in that game, I think it's a toss-up. We don't really know, obviously, what's going on in Jerod Mayo's head, but to see him around that time, I think would... In my brain, like week 13 was a little far, but like 7, as you said, it's in London. I totally blanked that. But like after that, I think it's fair game to see him.
It's my landing spot that I do like is week 9 at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Now the follow-up again, like the schedule is really difficult, so you're not going to get an easy landing pad. But it's on the road. That's a winnable game. It's a Tennessee Titans defense that isn't that great. But as we laid it out, San Fran with Bosa, Miami with Phillips, Houston with Hunter, Jacksonville with Hines-Allen, New York with Will McDonald and Quinnen Williams. Those are 5 games. I don't know if Jacoby Brissett makes it there healthy. And that's what my issue is. He's going to keep taking these licks, be pressured at this high rate. There were 22 pressures and 35 dropbacks on Thursday night alone. The whole offense was flat. They never got their run game behind them. But that's when Jerod Mayo says we have to support him as a staff and the players and keep them clean to find the open receiver.
Yep.
It's more than Drake Maye being ready. It's, is this offense ready? And another nugget that Albert Breer reported, one thing that they're doing in practice, because they have Jacoby Brissett here, who played for offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt in Cleveland, when there's a first offense out there and it's concept Jacoby is comfortable with, they put Drake Maye in. That's where the 30% number comes from because they've been splitting practice reps with the first team 70-30.
Yeah.
Normally it would be like a 95-5. I like that there was more context added to that. And I'm all for Drake Maye getting the 30% of the reps. Like he is a long-term plan. And you know what? If I don't trust you guys in an actual game to put him out there, Give him the practice reps when it's a controlled environment.
Yeah.
Eventually he has to go against live bullets though, because that's the only way you get better. It's just, there's so much more that has to be good around him.
You're right. And I think, you know, obviously it was encouraging to see him go out there. And I think Jerod Mayo was encouraged, but he's like, not enough. You know, he was tough, took a couple hits. He just has to get over this hump, and that comes with more playing time. And obviously that's the secret sauce. That's the key to success here. Is just, you need to do it more to get better at it. And, you know, people need to be better around him. But something I wanted to ask you is, what was your reaction when you found out Drake Maye was going in this game?
It was, these reps won't make or break him long term. And it was fine, put him in. And I said, he's just going to hand it off left and right. The second I saw him dropping back, the second I saw him scrambling, getting lit up by Sherwood, their backup linebacker, I hated all of it. But then the flashes of the scrambles and him knowing how to get out of trouble, I'm fine with it. But like, they are lucky. The way he got hit when he scrambled and Sherwood dropped him, I mean, Pyle drove him into the turf, which was a legal hit. The way the back of his head bounced off the turf, they were lucky it wasn't a concussion. And it's these receivers aren't getting open. And if you're going to put him in, make sure he knows how to get out of trouble. A, where to scramble to, where the outlet will be, and B, how to slide and avoid hits. So that's, again, of he's not ready, because part of it is you're protecting yourself. Another part is protecting the football. And I didn't see that from him. So I was fine with it. We were debating, is it worth it? Is it not?
Yeah.
Have him play. Have him play football. But I put that on Alex Van Pelt, that they did not set him up for success. What they were calling. I don't care what point of the game it was. I don't care how quick the passes were. If you threw an interception right off the bat, I don't care about that. But there just has to be, they have to be smarter with what they're assigning him to do when he's out there.